Hello, my name is Daniel Abah Iduh. I'm a writer and I write majorly legal fictions and legal thrillers. So far, I've written 2 books, and the first book, Brief, was written in the year 2022. It was published by Libretto Publishers, and the second book, Confession, was written in the year 2025, and it was also published by Libretto Publishers. So far, these are my only books, but I hope to still write more, and of course, with Libretto Publishers. Thank you. As for my first book, Brief, I think that Brief has been well accepted by lawyers, law students, judges, lecturers, and people across different sectors. In fact, surprisingly, I think Brief was enjoyed by non-lawyers the most, and so it's been massive. The book has gone across the world. Of course, the book was purchased in Canada, it was purchased in the USA, it was purchased in the United Kingdom, and so far here in Nigeria, all across the different parts of Nigeria, I think I've been able to sell almost all the copies that were published, and I'm looking forward to maybe printing more copies. So I think Brief has done so well, and now the reviews are even more enchanting for me, because the readers have been so excited about the book. The reception was really great. For my first book, I wasn't expecting that kind of reception, but yes, a lot of persons loved it, non-lawyers especially, talking about the emotional aspect of the book, talking about how they were, a law student talking about how they were able to relate to the book as a textbook to guide them in their civil procedure. Several things that I probably even imagine that several testimonies, I would say. I've gotten calls on people who I didn't even know talking about the book. So, in fact, one day, I think in a particular group, my name was mentioned, and some of the students were like, Daniel Abah Iduh, the writer of Brief, and somebody had to screenshot to send to me that you're popular here in my school. But I think the book has been widely accepted and it's doing great so far. For Confession, I think that if Confession was a person, Confession would have been angry with me, because I did very little in the publicity of Confession, and not my fault. I think that just the week I finished writing Confession, I got the inspiration to write a third book. So I started writing another book titled Judge. So that caused some distractions for me, because I couldn't get Confession into some of the libraries I needed it to be. But for the persons who have purchased so far, I think I've sold over 200 copies of Confession in the first 2 months. And for the copies that have been sold so far, the testimonies have been beautiful, I must say. The end of the book, hardly would anyone predict it. I think that's the catch for most persons. I got some reviews recently, and some persons were like, Confession is still maintaining the tempo, that beyond the double jeopardy principle, which was the major part of the book. I was able to go into some other aspect of law that was really expository, and so many testimonies. Everyone who has read the book so far, I think the testimonies have been beautiful, and of course, room for improvement. Some persons have told me some other areas. I think that this thing would have probably come out better like this, and so I think. But so far, the book has been beautifully received, and the comments so far from the readers have been wonderful. And I think that it's inspiring as a writer when your work is out there and people tell you great things about them. Yes, I also received I would not say destructive criticism, because like most criticisms are there to build the writer, but I've received criticisms from the other side, and I have received them well, and I hope to improve on those things in my next book. So so far, Confession has been widely well. Wow, Brief was indeed an experience. It was an experiment as well, because Brief was one book that I wrote without knowing where I was going to. I just allowed my mind to lead me. I just allowed God to lead me. I just said, however this is going to turn out, I just want my book to be out. I didn't know much about the publishing process. I didn't know much about self-publishing, about traditional publishing. I didn't know a lot of things about writing. In fact, even the writing itself, Brief was how to arrange my book, how to structure my book. I remember that when I was writing Brief, there was a point I got to and I had to pause to do a course on suspense. I had to do a 1 week course on suspense, and then after I was done doing that particular course, I had to now rearrange the entire book because the manner the book was flowing initially, I had to just move some chapters to start certain places, and when I did that, it built the suspense, not just diving into the information immediately, and I think that really helped a lot. So yes, Brief was indeed an experience for me. It was also an experiment. How to market your book, how to do your publicity. I wasn't so sure of these things as well, but I learned on the job. And honestly, I think that from what I learned after writing Brief, the reviews people gave to me, the corrections people gave to me, the things I should pay attention to, the things I should leave for my editors, and the things I need to pay attention to doing for myself. Because before, I just felt like when you're done writing your book, your editors will do one magical transformation to your book. Yes, my editors did that, but I would say that if I knew better, I would have probably paid more attention in perfecting my book before I give it to my editors. And I think that's one thing that I was able to do better in Confession. I paid a lot of attention to my book in Confession, in the writing journey, and even the publishing journey. I was able to pay more attention to certain things. I now knew more about how books should come out, the embossing of the book, the cover of the book, how it should look. Those things, the Libretto Publishers did a beautiful job with all these things because they were able to help me and guide me through this process. I didn't feel like I was lost. I was in the sea that I didn't know how to swim. They were able to help me through this journey, so it made it easier for me. But honestly, personally, I think I was experimenting, and then going into Confession. Of course, a lot of these problems were solved. I wrote within shorter time. I think I started writing Brief January, and then it took me 2021 I started writing Brief here. It took me to 2022 before I could finish writing Brief, and then I now went into the process of publishing. But for Confession, I think I started writing in January and I was done in August, because so I now realized that there are certain things I probably could do faster. Certain things if I pay attention to those things, I will probably not waste a lot of time writing. So it's been beautiful, and I think that so far I've learned a lot. And in my coming book, if you happen to read my coming book, George, you come to realize that there are still more improvement that I have done. And I'm sure that as a writer, coming from the legal profession, not so deep into English, literature and the rest until now. So coming from this particular profession, I believe that in another few years, my book would probably get that expertise that I desire. Of course it is. If you read my book, you definitely love how the language is couched, how the book is presented. But yes, I know that there's still room for improvement, and that's what I plan to do in the coming publications. But so far, there has been improvement. No. I won't describe Confession as a sequel to Brief. I think that Confession is an independent book. Brief is an independent book. Different storylines. In fact, Brief was set in Abuja, Confession was set in Makurdi. So different storylines. So it's not a sequel to Brief. They are both independent books. The major reason why I started book writing was because I felt like for the movies I've watched so far, I've not really been so happy about the way the legal profession is portrayed. You just see Nigerian films, outside divorce papers. You see some movies, the bastardization of the courtroom procedures, the wearing of wrong attires, lawyers' garb, and all those things. These are things that got me concerned. So I think that if at all I ventured into legal writing, it was because of I wanted to maybe make some corrections to what happens in movies. So there's no way I could probably feel fulfilled if I just stop at book writing. I also want to ensure that my books are published so that maybe you could. There are a lot of good legal thrillers now. Some movie producers are beginning to pay more attention to details, but I still feel like a lawyer coming into that particular industry, the movie industry, maybe I cannot plan to come and become a director or a publisher. I don't know if probably life may push me there, but for now, I can work with the publisher. I can work with the director. I can work with script writers and just ensure that these things come out the way that they ought to be. So it's until I'm able to achieve these books becoming movies, that's when I'll probably feel very fulfilled, because I am here on a mission. I'm not just here to write books so that people just read and go. No, and I plan to write as many books as possible. And for every book I write, I wish and I hope that those books will be published eventually. Just like John Grisham, one of the reasons why John Grisham books are very popular across the world is that he didn't stop at writing. A lot of his books were published, were acted as movies. They were turned into movies, and it gave the book wider reach because more persons would rather rewatch. They prefer the visual to reading. So they prefer to watch these scenes displayed for them to read. Why some other persons prefer to read. But I know that one thing about movies generally have wider reach. So I would love that Brief, Confession, and the subsequent books I'm publishing, I would love that they are published. About the effort I've made, well, I've made some effort though. We also talked to a few persons. Last year I was in talk with somebody who was very much interested in ensuring that he helps me make Brief a movie. We spoke until I think at the point we couldn't continue anymore, but I've not given up. What I plan to do now, because I was looking for a movie producer to connect me to a good scriptwriter that would probably now get the books scripted, and then from there we'll talk about publishing of the book. But I've come to realize that maybe I shouldn't wait. Maybe I should do the scriptwriting myself. Not myself, maybe I should work with a scriptwriter. So right now what I'm currently doing is I've contacted a few scriptwriters, and I'm looking at personally sponsoring that project, getting the book to become a script, and then maybe doing some improvement to the script. If I now maybe go out there to look for persons who are interested in publishing these books as movies. So yeah, that's where I am right now, and yeah, I would love that these books eventually make it to the movie industry, cinemas and whereas I would love that. In the Netflix, Prime TV and the rest, to be beautiful. Libretto Publishers, very wonderful publishers. I must say. I think I was referred to Libretto Publishers by a friend who had previously worked with them. She published her collection of poems with them, and then she told me, okay, I did poetry with them. I don't know how well they are into novel writing and not publishing of novels, but I could probably reach out. And I reached out from a very set goal, Mr. Nosa, the CEO of Libretto. I think that he's a passionate person, and the way he will explain, he will go over. Sometimes he says, "Oh, Mr. Nosa, it's okay. I understand you." He will go over. He's so passionate about anything he puts his mind to. He will tell you, "This is how it come better." And I think that in the area of costing, they are quite fair compared to. I wouldn't call names, but compared to some other publishers I've met, they are quite fair, and they give very good books for very fair price. I would say that anytime, any day, because I compared them with a few other persons before I eventually worked with them, and the books were beautiful. The way the books, the flip cover, the embossing, the everything about the book, even how their attention to to how the book comes out, the fonts and all those things. I think so far it's been a wonderful journey with them, and I'm impressed. I think if anybody impresses me the most about in Libretto Publisher, I think it's Mr. Nosa. He's very articulate. He's very meticulous, and I remember my last book. Yes, with my last book, Confession, I think there was a problem with getting some of the materials to get the book published. And at a point, I was frustrated because I wanted the book to be out at a particular deadline. I was like, Mr. Nosa, whatever is available, publish the book. He said, no, Daniel, please calm down. I understand that you want your book to be out, but I also understand that I want your book to come out well. That if we publish with what is on ground right now, you won't like the book, and I also not be happy that the book is out in this particular way. Please just be patient with us. These materials will be out in no time, and your book will come out beautifully well. In 5 years' time, you'll be happy that your book came out that particular way. I was very pissed because at that particular time, I was working more on time at that particular time. But eventually I waited, and I would have regretted it if I did not wait. So I was happy that Mr. Nosa was still able to calm me down, to make me see things the way it should be. And eventually the book came out very well. I love the quality of the book. Of course, if you hold the book, you know that this book is a book that is well published. So yes, so far I've been impressed. Libretto Publishers, they're wonderful. They're wonderful, and I think that there are people I would love to work with over and over again. For my cover design, the books are here. Look at them. So far, I think that my cover designs, I think that they've been both beautiful. Libretto Publishers, when you send your work to them, they don't just hurry into publishing, to designing your cover. Of course, they take their time to read through the book, to understand the message of the book before they design your cover. And I think that's very beautiful that's a very lovely procedure, because it gives the person designing the cover the opportunity to really know what to design. And what I also love about Libretto Publishers is that they'll give you several, and they are very patient with you. You say, oh, I want this thing to be removed, can this thing be adjusted to this point? And they'll patiently follow you through to ensure they get you what you'll be satisfied with. So yes, so far I think they've been beautiful. For the first book, it was about a lawyer who had cancer and who defended a girl that was raped. So in that particular book, the cover was a man standing and facing a girl who was crying, and then across her hand it's written help. And it's just beautiful because looking at the book, you see the message, you see the lawyer holding his wig and holding his briefcase, and then you see him you see the girl, and beautiful. For the second book, of course, Confession, the radio in the background, the guy in chains, it depicts the idea of what I wanted, about the central message of the books. Each time, the design always depicted that. Then generally, the embossment, the way the name is written, the flip cover, everything. I think so far I've enjoyed, I've loved, personally I've loved them. And then the beautiful aspect is not just me. If it was just me, I'll say, oh, it's because it's your book. No. Everyone that happens to buy my books, the first thing I always talk about is that, beautiful, this is your book. Your publishers did a great job almost all the times. So yes, I think that my cover pages have been beautiful, and I love them. I love them, yeah. Of course, expect more. I mentioned earlier, yes. I don't plan to stop. And I once said something that I feel like I want my only competition to be John Grisham. Because as a law student, as a lawyer, as a judge, the most pronounced name in legal writing, in writing of legal fictions, novels, and the rest, is John Grisham. Every law student, 100 level, 200 level, every law student, lawyers, the only name they all know. Writer of legal fiction, John Grisham. So of course, I want to publish as many books as that man has published. That man has over 40 to 50 books published since he started writing, and it's a time to kill. Yeah. So for me, I don't plan on stopping. And yes, there's a book coming. The book is titled Judge, and that book hopefully should be out this year or early next year. And after Judge, I plan to write more. I don't plan to stop soon. In fact, the fourth book is already in my head. I won't say anything about that one. So I plan to write. I plan to keep writing. And it's not a sequel to any of the previous books. I don't know if I'll ever write a sequel. Probably maybe one day I'll just decide to write something. But for now, I just want to write separate books, independent themes, independent plots, and everything. I want something totally different. Or maybe in the future, I could probably decide I could maybe venture into one sequel. But for now, every book will be independent. And of course, I expect my next book, Judge. And Judge is coming out, like I said, this year or early next year. So expect more from this writer. My advice to other writers, especially young writers, I will just tell anyone, when you want to be a publisher in Nigeria is a country where the system will fight you. The entire publishing process is not easy, especially when you look at the financial aspect. When I started writing Brief, I only had one goal. My book is going to be out. I don't know whether I'm going to self-publish or do traditional publishing. I don't know whether I am going to just finish my book and probably just get out soft copies for people to read, or whether I'm going to print my books out. I wasn't sure, but the only thing I was sure of was that my book would be out, and that was the only goal that drove me throughout the process. When I started writing, I didn't even have the money because I was just a young lawyer who had just finished NYC, so I didn't even have the money to venture into that kind of capital-intensive project. But I didn't allow that to discourage me. I wanted my book to be ready first. When I'm ready and I don't have the money to go into the next stage, I'll tell myself that, I tried and I couldn't go into the next stage. But I'll not self-defeat myself by telling myself that because of publishing is expensive in Nigeria, then because of that I wouldn't write at all. And that's the mindset that has shaped me, in writing all my books. I just write. When I'm excited about an idea, and the idea is exciting enough for me to write, I just write. And that's what I'll tell younger writers. Just write. Get your book out there. Perfect your work. If it takes you 2 years to keep perfecting the work until you probably find the means to publish your work, go ahead and perfect it. And if you don't think that you have the money to ever get printed copies of your book, still no problem. A lot of writers these days are selling their books in so many e-platforms. So why defeat yourself? Why hold back your idea? Why hold back what somebody wants to read because of a thing that the finances are not currently available? So I don't think that any young writer should stop there. If you have something to write, please go for it. Another thing I'll tell you is that one thing that helped me the most was I was able to involve friends in the writing process. When I'm done writing, I share it may be risky if you don't have trusted friends, but I share some, maybe a chapter of my book to different friends. I hear their opinions about the chapter, and I'll tell you something about Brief. When I wrote Brief, I shared the chapters among my friends. The particular person I gave chapter 15, which is Lady in Red, she is someone that loves to read, and I was surprised. 1 week, 2 weeks, I was not hearing from her. And I reached out, I was like, her name is Choma. I said, Choma, can you tell me why you are taking so long in reading my book? And then she was like, I'm busy. And I know that Choma is someone who loves to read, so why is it taking so long? And I had to ask her, I told her frankly, be frank with me, do you think the chapter is boring? And she said, honestly, I think it is. You're not able to catch me, you're not able to catch my attention. And I told her, no problem, give me back, just don't worry about the book. I went back. That particular book, that chapter, I spent a lot of my time on that chapter. And trust me, till today, I think that chapter 15 of Brief is my best chapter. It came out the way I would have wanted it to come out. So that's one thing about sharing your ideas with friends. Of course, a lot of people see intellectual property in this part of the world, and in fact all over the world, but that's why you need to know who you are sharing this kind of ideas with, and that's why you don't need to give your entire book to somebody to help you proofread. You could share the ideas among persons, and then maybe it will even give you speed in getting results, and it also helps you to have divergent opinions about your book, and then that will also help to shape your book better. So yeah, that's my advice to younger writers. Keep writing, and I believe that one day the world will be proud that you were able to pursue your dream to the end.